This is every single way to capture gameplay footage that is worth doing, okay? We're gonna go over every bit of it today in this live stream. And I'm gonna go over all of the equipment that you need to know to capture footage, as well as talk about which software is good, which software is not good. We're gonna be talking about Android and iOS, and I'm gonna go over software-based capture that doesn't require any special hardware as well. And I'm gonna link every single piece of hardware and resource in the description below and drop it in chat for you guys to check out. As you guys know, the stakes in terms of capturing gameplay is through the roof. And so one thing that you guys have to keep in mind is that you have to have amazing capture equipment to at least be up to par in this current market. You know what I'm saying? So the types of items that we're going to go over today include the Elgato 4K 60S Plus, which is the most advanced USB capture card on the planet. I'm going to be talking about that one today and how you can capture locally to your actual capture card, which is great, or locally to an SD card right here on this box. Also, I'm capturing this phone footage from this little guy down here that you see, the Elgato HD60S, and I have the Elgato HD60S Plus here, and we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of both of these cards during the live stream today. And we're going to talk about how you capture footage from your mobile device. So as you guys can see, I'm capturing from my Android device right now. Also going to talk about how you can capture from iOS as well. Okay, so the first item I want to talk about is the classic capture card, which is the Elgato HD60. And so this is the capture card I have used since the beginning of my career as a content creator. And it is a rock solid card that I was just capturing that phone footage from. And so if you guys are interested in knowing what that card is, it is this one. I'm dropping it into live chat for you guys right now. And and I'll show it to you physically here on the back of my computer. And then we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of this card, because I think it is the best-selling card of all time, to my knowledge. And you can plug it right into your USB jack. So as you can see, it's a USB 3 card. And so what it allows you to do is plug in an HDMI cable into the card, and then the USB cable on that, USB 3, goes into your computer. So I actually have that one running into the side of my production laptop that you see right here. So the advantages and disadvantages of this card are that it captures in 1080p 60 frames per second, but it doesn't let you play in 4K. So for example, if you wanted to play games in 4K and you were capturing from your console, you couldn't do that with this card because it's older technology. But it is actually, hey guys, it is actually what I'm using to capture this phone footage. And as you can see, the footage is very high quality that comes through this thing, and it gives you an absolutely pristine signal. And if you guys want to check out all of the gear that I'm talking about in a consolidated list, I've got it all here in a best capture equipment list on Amazon, and you guys can go check that out. I'll link that in chat for you guys right now. That is a free resource for you guys to use, and the Elgato HD60S is right here behind me here. It is going to be the least expensive capture option out of everything on the list today, which is why I covered it first. It's currently under $150 US, which is what, which is going to be, in the budget that a lot of you guys are wanting to look at, right, for your capture cards. But there is a step up from that I want you guys to be aware of before you buy something like the Elgato HD60S USB card. And it's the future that we're all in right now. Thank you so much for all the comments there. I appreciate it. Shannon Estep says, I love your work. Keep up the great work. In fact, I can show your comments on the screen now. Let's zoom in on your comments here. Ready? Ready? Zoom. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Mr. Kasla and Gaming Chronicles 2018. Thank you all so much for coming to the stream today. So the 4K gameplay is the future, as you guys know, right? So PlayStation 5, Xbox One, all of these have 4K gameplay capabilities. You want to be able to play in 4K, but you may not be able to stream, and then you may not want to stream and capture in 4K. Maybe you just want to stream and capture in 1080p. For example, the footage that I capture of my main monitor here, and that I do of my live streams right here on this monitor is a 4K monitor. I play games on this monitor in 4K in my studio, but I'm actually capturing the footage in 1080p 60 frames per second. How am I doing that? It's this card right here. It is the Elgato HD60S Plus. And so what is the S Plus part of it versus the other card? This is the critical part you guys need to know, the difference between the Elgato 68S and the S Plus. The S Plus has HDR. So if you guys are not already familiar, basically that makes your video games look better. And it allows you to do a 4K pass-through. So if your PlayStation 5, if your Xbox, if your PC, you're playing in 2K or 4K, you can pass through that signal to your monitor, to your TV, whatever it may be, and play in 2K or 4K while you're capturing on the capture card on your computer in 1080p 60 frames per second. So it allows you to harness those future higher resolutions, essentially, by using that particular capture card, which makes it a fantastic option. It is my #1 most recommended capture card right now. And I think the Elgato HD60S Plus is the best overall capture card on the market. You can plug it into any computer because basically every computer has a USB 3 slot. You can play games in 4K and 2K and 1080p. And then you can capture in that juicy 1080p 60 frames per second that all of you guys are looking to capture in. Make sense? So that is going to be the #1 recommended card for all of you. But some of you guys out there may be interested, for example, in going up to 4K, like literally capturing in 4K, streaming in 4K. Maybe some of you guys are looking at that future. I've got an option for you in just a moment, and mobile gaming and software options. We're going to go over all of that and more. Hopefully this will inspire you to increase your game capture game right after this advertisement. See you in a sec.
This video is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
All right, so this little bad boy right here is the future, if you will, and it is the 4K capture card. So as you guys know, gameplay footage is moving towards 2K and 4K, and this one is really special because it's the Elgato 4K 60S Plus, and it actually captures footage inside the capture card itself, which is totally insane. So as you guys can see, it's got an SD card slot on it, and so when I hit this record button right here, it actually records 4K 60 frames per second footage in the actual capture card. There it goes. And now it's recording. Now see that it's blinking, it's recording. So that your PlayStation's resources, so that your computer's resources, so that the resources of whatever you're using to play your games, that's my particular computer, doesn't have to use any of its resources to capture footage. Instead, this card is doing all of the capture all inside of the unit, using 0 CPU, 0 GPU, 0 memory, no resources at all of any description are being used while you're capturing 4K footage in this thing. You can also capture 2K footage and 1080p footage with this card, and when you're done recording, you hit the record button, and then what you do is you pop out the SD card right out of the SD card slot, and then you slide that into your computer, and then boom, you've got instant data transfer from this card that allows you to pull out that super high quality footage from any computer that you want, and to be able to use that as you see fit. I mean, guys, listen, this is really important for you guys to listen to. The competition, I'm gonna link you guys that card right now if you guys wanna check that one out. It's an amazing card. It's crazy, crazy, crazy good. Hey, good to see you guys in chat there. Ask any questions you have about capture cards live, by the way. I'm happy to answer them, and software capture. But the future of gameplay on the internet is one of really high quality gameplay, okay? Like, the competition has never been higher than it is today. So you can't drop frames. You can't have janky looking gameplay. Your gameplay needs to be completely pristine, because hundreds of thousands of these capture cards and the equipment I'm talking about today have been sold and are now the production standard. So the capture methods I'm showing you today are the ones that will get you up to par or above par in the market today. I've tried every capture method there is, and these are the ones that are actually good. So this is the device right here, the Elgato HD 60S Plus. If you're looking to do 4K or 2K capture, this is the most premium USB capture card on the market. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pair that with a card reader, like this Ugreen, for example, card reader right here. And then you can transfer the footage to your computer in real time. Oopsie, I didn't want to show that. And you want to go ahead and grab a memory card to go along with it. And this capture card's really interesting, and I see it kind of as like a future model for capture cards. To be honest, it's really interesting because not only can you capture footage inside the card, you can just use it normally and capture footage on your computer with it, on a second computer with it. And it has a pass-through, a 4K 60 frames per second pass-through that you can just play games with it or stream with it normally as well. So it's like a super mega ultra capture card essentially that can record within the unit and pass through in 4K and record footage in 4K and stream footage in 4K, all just as you would normally do, which makes it a super, super interesting option in my opinion. Now let's take a quick break for a minute and talk about solutions in terms of how you're actually going to be capturing the footage. So I talked about this hardware option just a moment ago. Hey, I've got a question actually here from Drew Jordan. So let's go ahead and answer Drew Jordan's question, and then we'll go from there. Drew asks, he says, I have an HD60S and it's really good for recording Nintendo Switch. Yes, that is definitely a good card for capturing Nintendo Switch. And he also says, is desktop capture or window capture or game capture better? The answer is no. So I'm actually not recommending that at all during today's stream, Drew. I'm only recommending capture cards and also Nvidia GeForce Experience as a way to capture your footage. I don't like desktop capture, window capture, or game capture, generally speaking, because you're going to be using your system resources in order to do those things. And the quality, generally speaking, is going to be lower than an Elgato capture card or Nvidia GeForce Experience. And so those are not methods that I recommend anymore. And it's absolutely not necessary to use those methods, given how affordable capture cards are and the fact that you guys can pick up Nvidia graphics cards to do internal gameplay capture using Nvidia's software. So let's talk about that for just a moment. Let's talk about the software side of things. I just talked about my top 3 recommended capture cards, but what about the software? So Elgato in particular offers different softwares that you guys can use to capture your footage, including the 4K capture utility, and they offer the game capture software as well. I do not recommend, so pay attention to this, I do not recommend using these softwares to capture your footage. I don't think that they're that great, and they aren't really expandable to be able to build out a broadcast with them or do any higher level production with them beyond the absolute basics for beginners. I instead recommend installing these softwares to get the drivers and to get the updates and to get the firmware updates for Elgato capture cards. And then instead of using these to actually capture your software, using a program such as OBS or Streamlabs OBS or XSplit to capture your software. Why would I recommend that? Good to see all of you guys. I'll answer your questions in just a moment. So the reason why I recommend using OBS Streamlabs, that's what I'm using right now. I'm currently using, for example, I use OBS and Streamlabs, but I'm currently using Slobs right here, as you can see, to do this live stream right now. But the reason why I recommend using these is that you get more options on how to configure your gameplay recordings to maximize the quality for you, and you can configure your streams and do all these other things, overlays and all these other items that are basically needed in today's environment to get people's attention and to be up to par. For example, here, I'm going to disappear for a moment. So here in OBS, in your settings, you can do all of the things that you need to do in terms of your settings to increase the quality. You can select any resolution you need. You can choose to work in a particular resolution on your canvas and then output in a different resolution. You can't do that in Elgato software. You can choose how the image scales here. You can, choose multiple different frame rates, even custom frame rates. Change your sample rates for audio. You can't do that in Elgato software. And you can go through and do detailed settings and select different encoders and different bit rates as you see fit for your recordings and your streams in softwares like OBS and Streamlabs OBS and XSplit. Whereas Elgato software does not have these functionalities, And so I don't recommend using their software because it limits your potential with the quality of your live streams. It limits your potential with the quality of your gameplay. It won't let you maximize your quality unless you have all of these fields available to you in order to max out your equipment and make sure that your encoding and all of your settings are the absolute most pristine for your particular situation. Does that make sense? That doesn't mean you shouldn't install the Elgato software if you get an Elgato capture card. That just means that you shouldn't use Elgato's software as the method that you're capturing footage with. Does that make sense, guys? Am I making sense to you guys? Let me know in chat. Couple questions for you guys from you guys in chat. So let's go ahead and pull those up. Question here from X1 Sniper says, I have a question. Do you think it would be worth getting an AverMedia Live Gamer card? I know what you're talking about, the AverMedia Live Gamer HD card. That is very similar. That's a very similar card to the Elgato 4K S Plus that I have, but it's like a 1080p version. That's a good card. It's definitely a good card. I've only tested that one about 3 or 4 times. It's a pretty good card. Personally, I've always used Elgato products. They've always been the most reliable for me. In my experience in the past, and this was a while ago, with AverMedia cards, is that they were not as reliable for me, and the software side wasn't as good. So I have GeForce and you use it in OBS, says Drew. Cool. I'm absolutely happy to support you, Gander. By the way, I'm going to talk about Nvidia GeForce in just a moment. Thank you so much for coming, Gander Airport. I appreciate it. Question from Edwin here on YouTube. Dual PC setup question. Do I need 2 separate video cards, or can I have 1 dedicated GPU in your computer and 1 capture card in the streaming PC? That's a great question. Or will I need 2 GPUs in both gaming PC and streaming PC? I'm so glad you asked that question, Edwin. I have the exact answer for you in terms of that, okay? So selecting the right computers and the right ways, essentially, to encode and decode your signal for your live stream is really, really important. And just, I'm not paid by Nvidia to say this, but I only recommend, as a gaming content creator, I only recommend using Nvidia GPUs to do capture. So let's talk about Edwin's question, okay? How do you configure a two computer setup? So as you guys can see right now, I'm using a 2 computer setup. Let me talk through the gaming computer, and then let me talk through the streaming computer and all of the routing and the hardware that you would need for a 2 computer setup. And this could also be a console to streaming device setup as well, okay? So first things first, here, we'll switch over to the phone. So all of you guys will have whatever your gameplay device is. Follow along with me. So for me, it's my high-end gaming PC. In that gaming PC, you don't necessarily, in your gaming machine, have to have an Nvidia graphics card. You don't have to. The gaming machine isn't actually doing the footage capture, okay? So the gaming machine can have an Nvidia card, it can have an AMD card, it can be a PlayStation 5, it can be an Xbox One. That doesn't really matter in this situation. So this can be whatever card, doesn't matter. Unless you're looking to capture footage in this system without a capture card, then you're going to want an Nvidia card because Nvidia has software that you can use that I'll talk about in a moment. But I assume that's not the case because you're asking Edwin about a 2 PC setup. So it doesn't matter what card you have in the gaming system. What does matter is what card you have in the streaming system. So whatever your streaming computer is, needs to have, in my opinion, an Nvidia graphics card in it, because Nvidia has encoders. The NVENC encoder, you guys are probably familiar with it. It has the NVENC encoder that makes it so that you can record and stream in OBS and XSplit and other programs much more effectively. It makes it so that the graphics card in your streaming computer is handling the load of processing that video for you, as opposed to making your CPU do it on your streaming computer, which is bad. And you can drastically increase the quality of your stream by using NVIDIA's NVENC encoder. It's the most beautiful encoder and most reliable encoder on the market today. So that is how it goes. So with your gaming computer, you don't need an NVIDIA graphics card unless you're going to use NVIDIA GeForce, for example. And I'll show that on the screen right now so everybody knows what I'm talking about. you're going to use Nvidia GeForce to capture the footage on your computer. So this is Nvidia GeForce right here. This is the GeForce Experience software, which allows you to record using their in-game or their in-computer overlay. And so on your gaming computer, if you have an Nvidia graphics card, you can use Nvidia GeForce. You can enable the in-game overlay, as you can see, and you can go through the recording settings and you can record on that particular computer using the hardware of that computer to record footage. And as you can see, depending on which graphics card you have, you can record up to 8K, which is preposterous, using your graphics card. But one thing you should be aware of here, even though it gives you options of going up to 8K, is that it uses your graphics card on your gaming computer to actually capture this footage, right? And so that's going to take processing power away from it being able to play the game. And so if you're playing games that have hardcore, you're really going up toward 100% GPU usage, capturing footage on a specific computer using the Nvidia GeForce gameplay capture features will take some processing power away from the gameplay itself. So this may not be optimal for some of you guys, especially if you're pushing up to 4K or 2K capture. These cards, especially the modern cards, can crush 1080p capture, no problem, without any impact on your gameplay. Does that make sense? So in my opinion, Nvidia GeForce Experience is the best capture method, best software-based capture method out there, because it uses a piece of hardware, your graphics card, to actually get the job done. Make sense? Awesome. Did I answer your question effectively? So what I'm really trying to say here, just to make it insanely simple, is your streaming computer, in my opinion, it's mandatory that your streaming computer have an Nvidia graphics card, because that graphics card is going to process your video for your stream and your recordings. And so the link I just dropped in chat a moment ago is to some recommended pre-built computers, like I own this one, that you can get on Amazon, where you can go get Nvidia 30 series graphics cards in your laptop or in your desktop computer for your streaming rig. And you can go pick up 30 series cards today, and then you can stream using those. And that card will handle the recording and streaming load for your live stream. You do not want to rely on your processor to handle that. Does that make sense? The streaming computer's got to have an Nvidia card. I hope that one day AMD is able to, create something as good as Nvidia's NVENC encoder for streamers and content creators. But as it stands right now, AMD does not have that, and so therefore I cannot recommend. That you guys use an AMD video card on your streaming rig. I cannot recommend it. You need that NVENC encoder, which you guys are currently looking at me through the Nvidia NVENC encoder for this live stream and for this recording. Cool? Awesome. So that was the software side, but I actually still have a considerable amount more to cover. So you guys ready for that? Awesome. So really quick, I want to thank, and this is actually how I've been doing this here a moment ago. The way that I've been looking at all of your chats here. By the way, GamerGrade said, dude, did your channel get hacked? My channel did get hacked. This is multi-stream chat, by the way. So I can see Twitch, YouTube, Trovo, DLive, even Periscope, Facebook as well, if I added Facebook a certain way, using Restream.io, the sponsor of this show. So I want to thank Restream for sponsoring the show. And the answer to your question is yes. Yesterday, I did get my channel hacked. And as you guys saw, there was a live stream going yesterday for this company called Litecoin affiliate, and they were streaming on my channel, and it was really, really scary for me, and it was crazy. So Restream is the GOAT. I completely agree with that. Thank you very much for saying that in chat. And if you guys, I just dropped the link in chat. If you click my affiliate link for Restream, I get credit if you install Restream, and you pay the exact same price, and you can do like me, interacting with your chat, interacting with people across multiple platforms, and growing your audience faster as a live streamer using Restream. So click that link below or click the link in chat. It's free to use, and then there are paid upgraded versions or whatever of it that you can pick up as well. Cool? Awesome. So thank you, Gander Airport. I agree, Restream is the GOAT. they do pay me and they do sponsor this show, but I did use Restream years before they ended up paying me. So there you go. All right, let's talk about other capture methods. I promised you every good way to do it. What are the other ways? So there are other devices that you can be using to capture footage that you can use to enhance your production quality. Have you ever heard of this thing called mobile gaming? Or have you ever heard of iPads or any other mobile device? Your phone has a camera on it that's probably better than a lot of the cameras that you guys are using and the webcams that you're using. So for example, when I cut to my footage here, my phone footage, this camera is actually freaking fantastic quality, as you can see. It's really crisp, it's really responsive. You can even see the shakes with my hand and stuff like that. Like, it's really, really good at capturing footage. And so a lot of you guys need to be aware that it's very easy to capture footage from your phone, like the footage I'm doing right now, mobile gameplay footage or camera footage, using your phone, using your iPad to get a second perspective, to get a second angle, to capture that gameplay, to jump on board the mobile gaming craze, whatever it may be, just like I'm doing right now with my phone. And let me show you the insanely easy peripherals that you need to use to do that. It's so incredibly easy to do. Okay, so obviously for this, I'm recommending that you pick up a capture card of some description. That would be like the first kind of requirement that I'm talking about. And then there's a couple easy accessories that you plug into that capture card to make the mobile capture happen. So if you're on Android, using something like this right here allows you to plug in your phone like you just saw. This is like literally this device right here. And you plug it right into your phone, and you can power up your phone and run an HDMI cable out of your phone or your iPad or your tablet or any other device that you're using and run that into your computer, okay? And so you can run this into a capture card, any of the capture cards I recommended during the stream to capture your Android footage. The HD60S, the HD60S Plus, the 4K 60S Plus, you name it, to run it into your computer. And so the two cables that you'll need to go with that are really, really simple. The cables all include a power cable for your particular phone, which is really cheap, right? You get a nice threaded power cable. And then obviously you want to have a nice high quality HDMI cable. And so all of that is available on my best capture equipment list and on my Android capture list on my Amazon page. So you guys can check that out. And I will go ahead and just link that to you guys one more time in live chat. If you guys want to check out this list, it is a free resource for you guys to check out if you have thought about capturing any footage from your phone. I think it's a great way to add extra production value to your show as a second camera or a POV camera, and it's the way, in my opinion, to capture high quality mobile gaming footage. But wait, there's more. So if you want to capture iOS, it's just the same as Android, but you're going to need an official Mac adapter like this. So you're going to buy the Mac adapter for your particular phone, and then you're going to plug that into the bottom of your phone or your iPad. Boom, plug it right in there. And then on something like a Mac adapter, it's got two important slots that you guys can see here. It's got the HDMI output and it's got a power output. The key thing here, guys, is if you're going to be doing a live stream, you don't want to have to rely on batteries for that live stream. And so these adapters that I'm recommending to you right now, these adapters have both power and video output. So you can power up your phone as you go along. And as your phone is powered up, you can be capturing that footage and sharing that with everybody else. So that item is also on here, and you can choose the right one for your particular phone, your particular iPad. And make sure that if you are capturing mobile footage or tablet footage, get the official, so especially if you're doing Apple products and iOS products, make sure you get the official Apple endorsed one, because there's a bunch of Chinese knockoffs out there that are being manufactured in China that claim that they work, and they just don't work. I've gone through like 3 or 4 knockoff adapters, okay? And then you pair that up with an HDMI cable, and on top of the HDMI cable, you get a power cable for your phone, and you plug both of those into the adapter, and boom, your phone and your iPad are powered up, and you're pulling out maximum quality. This is the important part. You're picking up maximum quality audio out of your phone and out of your iPad and capturing that. That's where we're at today, guys. You need to be thinking, how can I get maximum quality gameplay? People that are doing software capture, they're doing display capture, they're doing window capture, they downloaded some app on their phone to capture the gameplay. That's going to be much lower quality than these hardware-based solutions that I'm telling you guys about, okay? These hardware-based solutions, these capture card solutions are the way to go. These are the best methods. These are the methods I use right here in my studio, and that's why I'm recommending them to you. And speaking of which, you guys have been giving me an overwhelming response. It's been absolutely insane to my free gaming creator coaching services. And so I want to invite everybody that's here, except for the people that are spamming in my chat, which I'm going to block them right now. I want to invite all of you guys to join my upcoming sessions. These are absolutely free. I had 40 people sign up for the last one. You guys can jump in here. I just linked it in chat right now, gotmy.com/Awall, and you guys can jump in here for free coaching, free group coaching for gaming content creators. Normally, I charge $150 per hour for these sessions, but these are absolutely free with no catch at all. As you can see, 31 people are already signed up for the one that is next Thursday. They are weekly. They are video conferencing calls, no marketing catch. I'm not selling you anything. There's no marketing element of this. I'm not selling you a product or a course or any garbage like that. I'm literally just coaching you for free, live every single week. Not everybody can afford to pay for one-on-one consulting. I understand that with me. And people are hurting right now with COVID. And so I want to emphasize that you guys can sign up for free right now for all of these coaching sessions. Grab your free tickets before they sell out, and I can help advise you on helping you achieve what you're looking to do, right? Which is going full-time as a gaming content creator. I've been doing this for 10 years. I advise creators that make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month to people that are making $0 per month and are just trying to get started. And I'm just offering you this free help with zero catch whatsoever. Sign up today if you are interested in getting professional advice. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys giving me your time today. Hopefully, I helped you understand what the best capture cards are, what the best software solutions are, how to do a two-computer setup, how to capture footage on console and PC and mobile devices, and where the resources are for you guys to pick up all of those capture devices to get maximum quality for your live streams. Cool? All of that in the description below. Free resource for you guys to enjoy. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys enjoy playing games and capturing footage, and keep being creative. And the number one thing I want you guys to remember in 2021 when it comes to being a content creator is what?
Be unique in 2021. Be unique. Do not wait for other people to give you good ideas. Come up with crazy ideas and plan your content and be unique this year. There are tens of millions of people creating gaming content on the internet, and you need to be unique to break through this year. You got it? Good. Adios, creators.